What is up, YouTube? It's part 2 from lesbians, specifically black lesbians. I forgot where I left off in the last one, but hey, what I was saying and what I really wanted to hit on was, to some degree or another, with a lot of lesbians, like I said, there's many reasons as to why a lot of lesbians are gay or choose other women. A lot of it has to do with their previous experiences with men. It can be, another thing I forgot to add into is domestic violence also. A man can beat on a woman and pretty much make her lose her sense of masculinity, but her sense of femininity, and she can start to feel more masculine. And so often it is in society, people will want to do the same thing to other people that they've had done unto them. Because often in lesbian relationships, domestic violence, especially among black lesbians, is actually very high. I would argue that domestic violence among black lesbians is just as high as it is among heterosexual couples. But one of the last things I wanted to hit on as it pertains to sex, a man can, to some degree or another, compare himself to a woman sexually, because as I reveal, I'm not saying your dick is comparable to a pussy. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, alright? I'm not on none of that crazy ass hotep shit that these niggas be just way too overboard with. But what I'm saying is that a woman will be with another woman and there's no penis involved. And I've also dated women who had dildos. Now, I'll say this. I've only met 2 women in my life who had a dildo that was a penetrating type dildo. And neither of the 2 dildos that I've seen that a woman may have had, none of them were gigantic. They were typically medium size. I would say one of them was a bullet and the other one was shaped like a, actual human dick. And it was just a little 5-inch, like a little 5-inch dildo. That's all that it was. So sex is a lot more about intimacy, and lesbians will kind of let you know that. It's the intensity of the intimacy and the paying close attention to detail. You can actually learn a lot from lesbian porn. Like I revealed yesterday, there's been a recent research that revealed that women, and this is heterosexual women now, women that are not gay, are looking at porn 123% more than men are. Men are not even hardly looking that much at lesbian porn or oral sex. Whenever a man in a pornographic, they also reveal that men typically skip ahead of a pornographic recording of oral sex. That men, if oral sex is involved, and they studied this by men on porn sites who had accounts. That's the only way they knew who was male and female. And there's a lot of data that they be keeping up with on these websites. Y'all need to be careful on these websites because, Pornhub revealed a lot of this. And what they said was that they tended to notice that men tend to skip ahead of oral sex. They typically don't really like to look at men giving women oral sex, and that men of specifically black and white race don't much care to look at lesbian porn. That it tends to be a fetish of a certain percentage of white men and some black men. But they actually found that lesbian porn, and even when a man is giving a woman oral sex, is typically looked at overwhelmingly by women. So men kind of overlook that part of sex. And like I say, you can't necessarily give oral sex to every woman. There are some women, especially black women past 30, who you just can't do that no more unless you know for a fact you are her only and last partner. But if she's above 30 and she's never been married, man, you can take that risk if you want. But socially, I wanted to get into the social aspect of lesbians. And high testosterone women. It's the testosterone mentality that many black women have. And you know, a lot of people talk about certain brothers who really don't work. Man, look, it's certain things that certain races of people just don't like to talk about. But there has to be that one member of the race who you know, who's got to be that one to come out and say it, you know, to let people know what's going on. And a lot of black women have such a high testosterone level that I honestly believe that testosterone affects your psychological mind. That's what I think. I think that testosterone makes you think like a man or go around like a man. Because I just know women who are with dudes and it really doesn't bother them that much that the guy that they with doesn't work. Now, sometimes they'll use the fact that he doesn't work to constantly rail against him while simultaneously telling him that they don't want him to work. Because she will act toward him the way that a jealous boyfriend acts toward his girlfriend. She can't stand for him to go anywhere. You know, I've seen women who you'll be surprised that she's got a man living in the house with her. Because it's like a dude steps out on the porch and she's like, hold up, go inside, go back inside, get back inside, go, and close the door behind you. I mean, I've seen this shit, man. You know, she got a dude who just like a possessive, controlling man treats his woman. I have seen this, and there are endless examples of it. And what I get so pissed off over is IBWs, internet black women, who try to talk about black men who ain't working. You don't know if that woman done told him he ain't got to work. He's the woman in the damn relationship. He carries the baby around. He's the one who damn take care, you know, cook and shit like that. You know, she might make him go out there and cut the grass or some shit because she don't want to get, you know, grass and ants all up over her or whatever. But man, there are a lot of black women who comfortably and normally serve the role of male in their relationship. And their boyfriends are typically just a big human dildo who she expects the least amount of drama out of, and she just hope that he ain't the type who likes to share his dick with everybody. But socially, it also makes them, in a political sense, demand more of the rights of men, which is part of the reason why I think we have a community where 70% of the households are ran by women. You know, they make male demands and they ask questions that I just can't see other races of women asking these questions. Like, why can't a woman do this? Why are you celebrated if you do this? Why am I demeaned if I do that? But you're celebrated if you do the same thing. And if you just generally look at the construct of gender on a worldwide basis, I mean, you can clearly see that every other race of woman just sits back and their men do this and they don't have a problem with it. But a black woman is always saying, well, I can do it too. And what that does is that men pull back. And what will happen over time is he's going to just let you do it. And at the end of the day, when it's all over said and done, you're going to be complaining about the only one who's up there doing what the hell ever. And when it comes to confrontations, you can look socially at black men and black women through the lens of lesbians and transsexual men. You know, if a transsexual man or if a woman who thinks she's tough gets into a fight with a man, and I've seen this because I work part-time security, if they get into a fight with a man and lose that fight, well, no loss on them because you was a girl from the get-go, or you was a gay faggot from the get-go. You know, you the soft, weak one. So you're measured up against just being weak and soft. So anything you do that is strong, you get additional credit for it, whereas the man is just strictly expected to be strong. So the man is condemned in these type of situations. And if you look at it in a larger social sense, the man who's constantly expected to put forth the strong person realities in the world is always condemned for being shorthanded or not necessarily succeeding, but the woman is celebrated because she doesn't have a high, strong bar. It is what it is. I'm up out of here, man.